to Module 12. Woo! I am so excited to do this fitness upgrade with you. I have a very special guest, somebody I love very much, and trust his opinion and skills like crazy. You.
Oh, this guy. That's what I'm talking about.
Josh Tarnowski, who's also, you guys may or may not know this, he's one of your community success coaches, but he is also the founder and owner of a company called Yoga Athlete, which you gotta know about. This is amazing training, game-changing, and it's workouts that I love to do. So you got to come to a meetup sometime, and you also need to check out their social media, which we'll talk about later. But Josh is going to show you something that is going to totally upgrade everything that we've been learning in this course. So you've got a new body, you feel really good in it, you feel confident and healthy. So he's going to show you something that's a big part of Yoga Athlete called stand. And stand is a technique of how you hold your body.
I'm doing it right now.
He's doing it right now.
Believe it or not, doing it right now.
And it helps you to hold yourself in a more confident and happy way. So this is a huge upgrade for you to be able to take that new healthy body and go and just completely upgrade to walking around, owning the confidence, feeling amazing. This is going to change your relationships, how you talk to people, how you interact with people in your career, and how you interact at work. So take this and apply it to absolutely everything you do. Is there anything else you want to say about Yoga Athlete before I hop out, Josh, and just let you take over the show?
I think we'll take it from here. I got it.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Yay. You guys are going to love this.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
So good.
And as Steph said, this is something that I developed about 3 years ago. And honestly, since I started using it, in every aspect of my life has never been the same again. It took me quite a while to realize this emotional link between our emotions and the way our bodies appear, the way that we store fat, the way that we carry our bodies throughout our day. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people, I'm sure Steph mentioned this early on in Body Built by Love, but you have this, sometimes people get a syndrome where they walk with their shoulders kind of slumped over. And that's typically because they're not feeling aligned and really confident about themselves to walk their chests out and really open. And as much as that sounds kind of silly or maybe even like, unnecessary, the truth is the way that you hold yourself, the way that you carry yourself throughout life is how your emotional state is internally. It's all a reflection. So whether it's weight you're carrying, whether it's the posture of your body, whether it's just even the way that you move, those are all reflections of the inner. So we have a saying in Yoga Athlete, where the body goes, the mind can follow. So a lot of times people will say where the mind goes, the body will follow. And that's very true. But what's cool is we do have a chance to change that, inverse that, and actually have the body take the mind on a journey to balance everything out. Pretty cool, huh? So in a nutshell, that is what we focus on in Yoga Athlete, is teaching people how to move their body in a way to reshape their mind and balance it with the new mind that you just created over the last few months. I'm pretty proud of all of you for getting through this experience and really committing to the experience yourself and also all of your loved ones. It's huge. So now it's time to really learn how to use your new body, which is so exciting because once you start realizing that you're no longer a prisoner to your weight, you're no longer a prisoner to this idea of chores, a workout being a chore, and no longer having to, feel like you've got to create some system that is robotic, but yet just move throughout life and have fun. It's still really important to have a few elemental structures in it. And that's really what we teach in Yoga Athlete. Because once you have a few foundational elements, then you can just move freely in all kinds of new directions and ways and feel new things that you've never felt before. So one of the main foundational pieces of Yoga Athlete is a concept Steph mentioned earlier called STAND. Now STAND is an acronym, Structural Training and Neuromuscular Development. So what that means is we teach you how to have a strong structure, and the neuromuscular development part is the mind-body connection. So when we're positively charging our bodies, and this is an idea called biomechanics, when you're positively charging your body or your biomechanics, you're sending signals to your brain to do things the right way, to have a more balanced emotional relationship with your body, and to also be in a state where you can heal your body from anything you want to heal and progress your body in ways you didn't even know was possible for you. So it's very simple. As I said earlier when I was standing here with Steph, I was literally doing that as we were talking, this idea of stand. And it does get progressive as you go, but the very basis, it's the most simple thing you could possibly imagine. So I'm gonna have Steph go ahead and take the camera off, so we're gonna go for a little ride, and I'm gonna start showing you some of the fundamental elements of stand. So it's gonna start with the feet. So she's gonna give you a quick view of the feet. Now, before she takes the camera off, I wanna say there's 7 parts to stand, 7 elements throughout the body. And we're gonna start with the feet and go all the way up to the top of the head. All right, you ready? So Steph's gonna take the camera off and kind of show you how we start at the feet with this process. So in stand, what we're gonna do is get ourselves in a place where we create a strong foundation. Now, like we said, you can use this whenever you are standing at work, waiting in a grocery line, shopping, even just like walking around throughout your daily life. Especially if you're picking up laundry baskets, moving heavy things at work, digging in the garden, just playing with your family, whatever it might be. You can think about these fundamental pieces and how you can make your body stronger every day just by thinking about it. Cool? All right, so this all begins in the feet, as I said. So what we're gonna do is get our feet about a little wider than hips distance apart. Now this is a little different than yoga because the idea is that in yoga, you're a little more in this really narrow stance. We're gonna get a little wider to really create a base for ourselves. And what we wanna do is spread our toes nice and wide, and then you're gonna take the ball of your big toe, which is underneath your foot, and you're gonna gently push it into the ground. Now if you notice when I push it into the ground, my arches start to raise up. You see that? So a lot of people suffer from flat feet. But when you do this, you actually create an arch in your foot, which allows you to now have control over your muscles and your feet. And when you create this arch, it sends a signal all the way to your brain to activate your body. Pretty neat, huh? So what we're gonna do is practice pushing the ball of your feet into the ground and creating the arches in your foot. So once you got that and you got the toes spread wide, the next thing we're gonna do is just gently, very gently engage the glutes. Now your glutes are, in case you don't know, up here, it's your buttocks. And that's just at your hip area. So we don't want to squeeze the glutes hard, but we actually want to engage them like maybe 40 to 50%. So what that does, like a gentle squeeze of the glutes, almost like you're trying to keep a penny there. Sounds kind of funny, I know, but it works. What it does, come back over here, Steph. So if you focus on my knee for a second, I got my arches engaged. I don't have my glutes engaged, but when I engage my glutes, watch what my knees do. See how they track out over my toes? They go away from my body, they externally rotate.
And come over to the side view here too.
Yeah.
Let's see that one more time, Josh.
All right, so starting non-engaged, when I gently engage my glutes, about 40%, 50%, my knees come out this way. So most people suffer because their knees are walking in and they put a lot of strain in these interior ligaments. We always want to have the load on the exterior, but you still want to keep it balanced. You don't want to be wobbling like this either. You know, you still want to have an alignment. So I always try to keep my knees aligned with my second toe, or maybe the third toe, depending on where it's comfortable to you, just by squeezing your glutes. So again, you're standing there, you drive your ball of your toe into the ground, you make your arch, you gently engage your glutes, which draws the knees out just a little bit, and now you've got your foundation, your firm base here that you're standing. So once we get the lower part addressed, we're gonna give it the upper part of our body. So now you're squeezing your glutes just a little bit. Next thing I want you to do is squeeze that muscle, kind of like you have to pee. And when you do that in conjunction with squeezing your glutes, what you're gonna do is create your stomach, your inner stomach, to almost kind of draw in towards the spine. So that muscle, kind of like you gotta pee, down your pelvis muscle. Now a lot of women who have had babies, they say they don't feel this as easily. That means that you really should be doing this a couple times a day. Some people refer to this as a Kegel, and that's actually a really strong practice a lot of women should be doing, is Kegels. But men can do it too. It's totally important for everybody. It's a muscle deep in the pelvic region that helps our pelvic floor contract and loosen as we need it. And that's really important for keeping the inner abdominals strong. You know, we have 2 layers of abdominals, a front layer you can see, and a deep layer that actually keeps your core set. So a lot of people just have good out muscles, they don't have a strong inner muscle. And that's what we need to make sure we're always keeping in balance. So squeezing that muscle like you gently have to pee, and then slowly drawing the lower abs in. I'll show you what that looks like. So if I let my stomach kind of hang out, I squeeze that muscle and then I draw my belly button back to my spine. And as you can see, it kind of gives me a little bit of container here. I like to think of like a bowl of water too. If I let my belly sag, then that water comes out. But if I keep it gently engaged while I'm squeezing that muscle, now the bowl sits up and the water stays in there. So that is the third step for this experience. So
can you show us what that looks like again too, Josh? Like if you don't mind showing us your abs and
Sure.
lifting your shirt.
So right here,
From
you
the
know,
side.
if I'm gonna let my stomach hang, that's like completely unsupported and just like letting pressure on the low back. But when I gently squeeze that muscle, the PC muscle, and then slowly draw, like almost like rolling my lower abdomen in towards my spine, I can feel the strength. It's like a lock that happens. So you can do that and then gently draw it in. Cool?
Thank you. Yeah, that's great.
So now we're going to focus on the second part of the abdomen, which is the upper abs, or the Uddiyana Bandha. And so in yoga, this is all about how, a lot of times in Pilates they talk about it too, you want to almost close off the rib cage to create a bit of a structure there, create a strength. It's like a lock. But the idea of closing off the rib cage means you're kind of hunching. So we don't really want to close off the rib cage. What we're going to do is instead think about drawing this top muscle up and in towards your spine, up into your lung area and into your spine. So you don't want to push it really, really hard, but what you do want to do is, again, get it about 40 to 50% activation. And what that will allow is for you to really get a strong core activated. And you'll feel this in your back too. You'll feel this all the way to the spine if you do it right. So again, we've drawn in the low belly, we've activated the PC muscle, that muscle down your pelvis, and now we're going to draw this muscle back and in. See how much stronger it makes my abdomen look when I activate it all? Now this takes a little time to get the mind to connect to the body. So don't feel like if it doesn't happen right away, you got to practice a little bit. But ultimately this is setting that foundation to be really, really strong and have a good core all the way to the back. So while I reference the back, the next thing we're going to focus on is getting these muscles right here, these top abs, talking to the shoulder blades. Now why do they work together? Because they're antagonist, protagonist parts of your body. So that's a whole nother science, but for the simple form, what I want you to do is be able to activate your shoulder blades while you're activating this top ab. The other important thing is you don't want to be squeezing so hard. So the other important thing is you don't want to be squeezing so hard down here that you can't breathe. That's why I say 40 to 50% activation. It's more like gently holding it than forcing it, squeezing it. Because what you want to do is still be able to breathe while you're engaged. And then when you disengage, you kind of squeeze a little tighter, but always be able to get a breath in there. So the next thing we're going to do is focus on the shoulder blades. This is a little bit harder to see. If you want to stay right there, Steph, the easiest. So standing like this, again, our full stand posture, it starts at the feet. Our full stand posture starts at the feet. But we also want to be focused on the arms. So we're standing nice and wide, almost like we're ready for basketball. You know, you ever play basketball, but we're going to be standing up. Gentle bend in the knee, palms turned towards the front. So when you do this, what happens is the shoulder blade externally rotates. Just like the knees externally rotated when we squeezed our glutes. So when you externally rotate the hands, we actually externally rotate the shoulders, which puts it better in alignment with our socket. So just while we're here, try this real quick. Hands open to the front. Bring your hands up over your head. Now you'll notice how much easier that is than if you do it this way, your hands down. And that's because they're not aligned typically when your hands are pronated. So when they're externally rotated like this, it aligns everything in the shoulder. So once we have our shoulder aligned and we're standing here and we're breathing, we really want to focus on drawing the shoulder blades. These are what you call the scapula back here. You want to focus on doing it. You want to focus on drawing them down your back. So a lot of parents have probably told you in your past, or a lot of peers have said, pull your shoulders back. Well, this is what they mean, but they never really had it right. You're not supposed to pull your shoulders back. You're actually supposed to draw them down. So I don't know if you can tell the difference here, but when I externally rotate my hands and I have my shoulders open, it's really easy. I can raise my shoulders up to my ears, and then I can come straight down my back until I feel my chest rise up a little bit. Does that make sense? So again, shoulders up to the ears and then down the back. Now, what this does, you'll notice it does protrude the upper abdomen a little bit. And why it's important that we have control over this top ab to draw it in is because when we do drop our shoulders down, we want to be able to draw this back in to even it out. So you don't ever want to be standing like this. You don't want to ever be standing like engaged like this. You want to be right in the middle. So shoulders down the back, abs in. See the alignment I have here? So again, I'm down at my feet, I make my arch, I squeeze my glutes, I draw my lower belly in, squeeze that PC muscle, engage this ab, and then draw my shoulders down. So now I'm really strongly engaged in my whole body. So the last piece of this is we're going to draw the shoulders off the ears. So a lot of people have different cues for this. You can either draw your shoulders off of your ears, it looks like this, or you can gently tuck your chin. But a lot of people do this and they miss tuck it. You don't want to go down, you want to go back. And so the idea is that we are trying to align our ears all the way down to our heel, the heel of our foot. So when we do this properly, you're actually realigning your entire spine and sending electronic signals through your spine that you are healthy and you are okay and you're energized. And so by doing this and just breathing through this process, you are able to rebalance your body and let that synovial fluid fill back into the proper areas of your joints and your ligaments and all your bones. So again, you kind of pretend like you have a string from the crown of your head pulling you up to the sky. And what that does is really allows you to now be fully in alignment, keeping the chin gently tucked, pulling the ears off the shoulders. You know, and this is what stand is. This is the basis of it. Now from here, there's a lot of different things we learn. And in the beginning, as I mentioned in this video, I was doing this right in the beginning when I was talking with Steph. You know, I'm doing stand right now. I know it may not seem like much because I'm moving, I'm not standing here like a robot, but that's not the point of it. You know, it does, in the beginning, it feels kind of militant. You're like marching around, you know, how do I do this? That's not really what we're getting to. In the beginning, it's a little bit like braces. If you've ever had braces or your kids or any friends, you know, in the beginning it feels a little tight, but then it gets a little more comfortable as things shift. So what we're doing is bracing different areas of our body that may not be in alignment, you know, the bone, the skeletal structure, and we're allowing it to reset into the proper area. So you could stand like this for 4 or 5 minutes at a time, 10 minutes at a time, maybe even 15, and just breathe. And feel the areas in your body where you have trouble activating, or the areas that you need to activate more, or the areas you need to activate less. Maybe you're holding too much tension. Now, the thing is you want to get to a point after you practice this a little bit, just in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to go do this in a park or at a grocery store right away. But get used to this stance posture, and then once you get kind of natural at it, it's easy to start taking it places with you. So what I mean is, I can do it while I'm talking. Now I have my shoulder blades back, I got my abs engaged gently, I'm still breathing into my body. My glutes are a little bit engaged. It's kind of funny to think about squeezing my butt while I'm talking to you. But the truth is, I'm fully engaged, but also very malleable. And that's what's so fun about this is, as I walk around, as I move, as I pick up something, you know, as I maybe go to high five my friend, whatever it is, I can keep those little areas of activation and engagement. You know, as I reach overhead for something, I still have my shoulder blades activated, still have my abs activated, but I'm also still able to move and breathe and carry on my day. So this just overall will start to create a much stronger foundation for you. The other part is, again, if you have any areas where your mind is still creeping into your body, like say you're one of these people that walk around chronically like this and don't even know it, or say you're one of these people that is always standing like this, what happens is your mind starts to get these signals to the body and you don't realize it, but it sends signals of laziness or it sends signals of unhappiness. And so the most important thing you can possibly do is start to restructure the mind-body connection and allow yourself to really own that. I even notice whenever I'm doing a lot of work or I'm sitting on the computer and I've been sitting like this for too long, I feel like depressed and out of whack. So when I stand up and get to stand for a couple minutes, my whole entire physiology changes. The biomechanics kick in, some kind of things release that feel like really happy and positive, and things change. So this is something that you can do anywhere you want to. You know, you don't have to just do this at the gym. So this is something you can do anywhere. And the key is that you're always in a state where you're having awareness of your body, awareness of your glutes, awareness of your knees, awareness of your arches in your feet, and over time, maybe in a few short weeks, for me it took about 6 months, to be honest with you, of just practicing this when I remembered to. It will become very natural, second nature, and your posture just gets better, everything just changes. So I trust that this is something that makes a lot of sense to you, and I'm going to just do a quick recap of the points that we're going to touch whenever you're thinking about stand. And of course, watch this video again to really get used to practicing these things on a deeper level. But again, we start at the feet, building the arches. Then we gently squeeze the glutes, and then we move up to the lower abs and that PC muscle. And then we do the upper muscle, shoulder blades down, arms out, and then ears off the shoulders. So that's stand. And I'm excited for you to learn more about standing strong in your own power in this new body and really learn how to use your body to the fullest. So congratulations on completing the experience of Body Built by Love and sharing that love with all the people around you. And I definitely challenge you to continue to keep building your body with love as time goes on. And remember, you are limitless. So you can reach out to me if you ever have any questions. And of course, check out Yogathlete. We're gonna have Be a Yogathlete on Instagram, and also beayogathlete.com if you ever wanna wear any cool merch. We got shirts, hats, all this fun stuff. And I definitely look forward to teaching you more as we go. Love you all and have a great day.
Thanks, Josh.
Woo.